YouTube's live.
YouTube, how y'all doing out there? How y'all doing? I hope all is well with y'all. Hope all is well with y'all. Soon we'll have Facebook up and running and we can officially get this show started. Yes, we got a great show for you today, man. I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? We got a chef in here. Like, we got the Warrior Report now, in-house chef. Right? Like, I told you I'm excited, right? All right, Facebook, how y'all doing out there? I hope all is well. I hope all is well with y'all also. Welcome to the Warrior Report, where we talk that talk. We definitely walk that walk. Raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, I am a black woman lover, the black woman's brother, the culture teacher, hood healer, your holistic health and wellness coach, Kamar Carter. Peace, peace. Hey, Kev, what's happening, man? Let's get this show cracking, man.
Well, I know you're excited, but let's kick it to talk first. Talk as a guest.
How y'all doing? I'm a guest. Thank y'all.
My bad, talk.
Okay. Listen to learn, your truth transfer engineer. We in here, man, trying to get healthy, wealthy, wise, free, happy, and full of joy. Welcome, Lena. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you.
The People's Network presents the Warrior Report tonight. Easing into the weekend, what we do is we do a little verbal foreplay. We don't just run up in you. We try to get you wet. So we start on Wednesday nights, and then Thursday night, Outlaw Radio, and Saturday night, Outlaw Radio are entirely insane. It is what it is. You can listen. You feel however you want to. But we try to do health and wellness and things that pertain to dealing with the inside of us, as opposed to just the outside. Like, you don't just put candy paint on the bucket. You fix the engine first. You make sure it's not leaking oil. You make sure that you got to deal with the intricacies. So that's why we do the Warrior Report. But tonight, I have a very special guest. I'm glad she came back. She's no stranger to the show.
Right.
Actually, we always support her like that, regardless of whether or not we disagree with her or not. But this is my sister. I want y'all to give a warm People's Network welcome to my sister, Lena Taylor. What's going on?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Snaps, right?
Right.
3 snaps?
Yeah.
Right. Give her more than that.
I can't snap both fingers, right?
Right.
So I got to snap 6 times with one hand.
And as a man, you got to be careful about snapping with both of your fingers now, because you might get recruited by the Rainbow Coalition. So what's going on, my sister?
Hey, we're running for mayor.
Yeah.
About time. Right.
You know what? I've heard that out in the street.
Okay.
That from people have been. It's been amazing,
Right?
It's been amazing to be out here doing it. It's been work though. How do we feel about the plight of Milwaukee? How do we feel about it? And now we're the worst place in the nation to raise a black child, to be a black American. We have not even 8% of us own homes in the city. 60% of the homes are owned by people who don't even live here. And this is a place that feeds us into the foster care system and into mass incarceration.
Yes.
Like, are we ready to say it can be different? Or are we okay with the status quo? And so I just felt like Fannie Lou Hamer one day. I just felt like I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And, nope, I ain't got what they got. But what I do got is a heart for the people and an ability to put myself on the table, to be able to go and be the bridge between. I don't come from the same privilege, so I don't bring the same things to the table. I don't bow in the same way, so I don't get the same. This has been a full grassroots, campaign. And it's been fun. And the people, I can tell you that God has just really been in it, because when my mother was ill, and the way that the people didn't know, but how God just provided, and the people came and got signatures, and other people were paying people to go and get signatures. But the community stepped up to say, this is what we want.
Okay.
And so it's been amazing to see that and do that. It's been challenging.
I wanted to say this.
It's been fun.
So for people who don't know, because I know, first of all,
Yes.
The underground is active in Milwaukee. You believe it. It goes down.
For sure.
Some of the most passionate callers and supporters that you could ever imagine.
You be on point.
It's
Yeah.
real over here. It's,
Yeah.
it's official.
We had to take a show down.
Right. Just
Because
because
of
it
that.
went there.
Straight
Right.
up.
What?
With Panema. Well, you call her
Panema.
Panema.
Oh, you talking about the woman
Yeah.
that's running for county?
Yeah. Hello, buddy.
So check this out.
Goodbye, buddy.
Check this out.
She had to
A
leave.
similar thing happened when she went to the Hispanic community.
I think
Yeah, I was
it was
before.
the same day.
It was hours before.
Yeah,
So
He got a
listen.
bad day.
The fact that Lena's on here shows you that she is one of the people. Now, I will give Lena this credit. The first time she came on my show was actually at 3041 North, and it was a nice location. And it was 4 slap my wife 5 like we're Kev at.
Yeah.
You must be from.
Hey, man, look. Hey, I'm gonna tell you. I tell everybody one thing that I like about Lena is you see her.
Right.
You know what I mean? You see her out and about. Last year I was playing hooky from work and ran into her at Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for coming to June.
You see her. You know what I'm
It's a good
saying?
time, man.
Yeah, we had a good time down there.
So tonight we're gonna respect this sister status. She's been a senator. First of all, her name is Senator Lena Taylor.
That's right.
She's been a sitting senator for 15 years.
15.
For
That's right.
15 going on 16 years.
And for you people who don't
17
understand,
years as a legislator.
okay, so people don't understand government. She's been in Madison fight for that long, right?
And every politician that we've had on this show, I've had the opportunity to ask him one question: is your black agenda? You run on the black and the brown agenda,
Right.
right?
I mean,
And
it's,
so that's
what I advocate for all
that's
the time. And
fantastic.
whatever committee I'm in and whatever the issues are, you know, a perfect example is when Chris Larson took me off of the finance committee.
Drama.
I have representation. And when we didn't have representation, it was also that time that some pieces of legislation that hurt our
got through.
community was able to go through.
Right.
But more importantly, I got put on the agriculture committee. And so when I got put on the agriculture committee, I was like, you give me lemons, I'm making lemonade.
I
I
heard
want
that.
some when I get done.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of like what we did with chitlins. Like now they $13
You know
a
what I'm
month.
saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
They used to throw it away.
You don't want some when
Yeah,
I'm
they
done.
was throwing it away.
Yeah.
Now it's a delicacy.
Mhm.
You know?
Mhm.
My mama was like, I'm gonna have to quit making chitlins. They $13 a pound.
Right.
I was like, quit talking crazy.
Your heart will explode in your chest. Big Mama is called Big Mama for a reason. She big.
Hey,
Um,
hey, man,
but-
you know, get this off my chest right quick
Yeah,
before we
good thing,
before we really get started.
Okay.
First of all, I want to say it's an honor to be sitting next to our next mayor.
Ah,
Right?
yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Our next mayor, and it's a black woman. We all know how we love black women on this show,
Yes.
right?
Come from one.
You call him God. You know?
Yeah, you got that
You,
right.
you be on
You got
that.
that right. The black woman is my God. I stand on it all the time.
He
The
trying
black
to meet
woman is
somebody.
my mother,
He trying to get
my
him a woman.
first nurture.
Right.
No, I'm trying to open the
Just telling
eyes
you.
of the community, open eyes up in the community from our men, right? To really understand how we have to uphold our women. You know what I mean?
And support him.
Because our women, they've been getting shitted on for as long as we can remember. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, what I wanted to get to was, like I said, it's an honor. Years past, I mean, like many years, I've been feeling more compelled to do it. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, what if? You know what I mean? And not only that, the people that I'm around, they passionate about that. You know what I mean? They love it. And you know what I mean? I will do something that I don't like sometimes for the people that I love, right?
Mhm.
So what I want to say is, look, kid, I voted early.
Ah,
Yeah, I voted early.
That's what's up. That's what's
I
up.
voted early, and I voted all black. You know what I'm saying? I'm behind somebody that can represent
This
us.
is the first
You
time
know what I'm
that's
saying?
ever happened.
The first time that's ever happened. So this is
Ever
the first time that this can happen,
And
man.
this isn't just
I want to take part in it.
that's like huge and like you know you voted for me, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right. I'm
First.
just like
First, hey, look. As soon as I get,
What if you want to answer? Like, what would you say?
hey,
what
look.
was up?
Hey, look, and I'm gonna tell you, when I saw Lena Taylor, when I saw Lena Taylor on that screen for mayor, that I got chill bump.
Oh my goodness! Yes,
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
gonna be
I
the
had chill
second
bumps,
time
man.
that a black person got elected in a primary,
Mm-hmm.
but it's going to be the first time that a woman has made it through a primary. And April 7th will be the day when we determine whether or not we will elect the first black mayor.
I think, and this is something that we're going to discuss because I have in my talking points, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and the fact that there's a two-party system in this country, when I personally believe, because I define myself as a democratic socialist, either one of those parties really serve us or have even taken care to develop a black agenda. So I'm not loyal to either one of them. I think they both make some good points. It's like I say, some stuff I'm conservative about, some stuff I'm liberal about. Like marijuana, I'm liberal about. You know, child molestation, I'm conservative about, right? Like, so give them the death penalty on that end. But man, legalize this weed, man. Let's get high, man. So in Milwaukee, the Democrats, this is what your conservative people say.
Okay.
The city's been in Democratic control for the better part of 45 years, and it's the worst it's ever been. Isn't it now time to try something new? That's their pitch. And I'm like, yeah, but you got a city that's democratically controlled, but you're usually going against a Republican-controlled state, which is 86% white.
And because that's where the funding comes. And if they do like what they just did with juvenile justice and decide, oh, we're just going to short Milwaukee $8 million, you know, all we able to do is just accept whatever it is the state does until we get to the place that we decide that we're gonna sue the state.
That shit do smell. That shit smell good.
That's
I'm
right.
sorry, Lena. I'm just fat, and I'm like, dude. They say it's vegan. We got to get this stuff. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I can't
right?
wait, and I can't wait to be able to tell her about the USDA dollars that she's going to be able to apply for because of the kind of business she had. Because I got put on the ad committee.
Won't he do it?
About it. $40 billion.
Hey, no matter what we talk about, rep your brand. It's all about black business, and that's what we pick up all the time. Rep your brand. 414-231-9982. If you got some questions for my sister, 414-231-9982. But I'm gonna tell you like this: if you're gonna call in and try to disrespect this sister, you're getting hung up on and cussed out. We ain't doing that tonight. We give it. No. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with my people. I keep it funky with the people.
Well, they should be able
Okay,
to.
Say it respectfully.
Hey, speak and let her talk to him.
Just be respectful.
The first thing I want to say.
Say it respectfully.
The first thing I do want to say. So the first thing I want people to know is, like you said, I'm from Capitol. I'm from 15th and Capitol.
17
by way of
CDTFB
in North Avenue. My mother and grandmother owned a restaurant, back in the day. So my heart goes out to somebody that, does food, for people. So my sister over here, I can't wait to be able to help her with the ag opportunities for her business.
Yes,
but anyway, my family owned a business, so I grew up in kind of that entrepreneurial spirit, growing up in the family. I went into private practice. I did that for about a decade before I decided to run for office. And when I did, I didn't listen to my mama. Always listen to your mama.
She told you to keep the practice.
She did, and I didn't. And so now, 16, 17 years later, I wish I had, but I still got the law degree and use it. So that's who I am, right? The other thing I want y'all to know is in regards to Dem control. In Madison, I've done like 110 pieces of legislation. And I say that because that means I've worked on both sides of the aisle. Even when we left the state, the Dems was gone.
Yeah, y'all was on some gangster.
I still had a bill that was in committee and got done.
Where did y'all go though? Because some of y'all was on the north side hiding.
No,
because it was like all the Democrats disappeared. You remember that?
All the senators left, and most of them went to Rockford. But
close, but not there.
I went to Milwaukee, and then was supposed to be on my way to Rockford.
You stopped and got a sack on your way out of town.
I know you got my suitcase. I got my suitcase.
No, don't admit to that, baby.
I was just saying my suitcase.
She got her bags, man. I was
Yeah,
just joking. Right.
So anyway, so I went and did that, and on our way to Rockford, I was riding with Senator Carpenter, and he got lost. And so they got caught in Rockford, and that's when you saw him on TV, because that was me and Tim. We bargaining the right to associate with your other fellow workers, to speak about your work conditions, that they took those rights away. Scott Walker and the Republicans took those rights away. But
there's a lot going on in Madison. And shout out to all the black people's thing. So if you sit up in the church and you allow Tom Barrett to come in there because he's probably giving your pastor money for his quote unquote ministry, you think we would
maybe not.
But let's look at it though, like because the reality of this is this, and I'm saying this. This is not my sister.
Right.
Black preachers in Milwaukee is out of order because when something happens, you're not represented at all. Now you tell me they're here, right? We know we got some rich ones, but which ones? When the murders and the homicides and the water, we do Flack. We're gonna talk about Flack. We're gonna talk about Bear with his hiding the fact about the water and all that. What pastor is speaking on this? Because I don't hear when
There
I
are
see.
some.
I just want to know who they are. They're not transparent.
No, it's like for example, Greg Lewis has been very vocal
Never heard
with
of.
Pastors United to go. They also participated in some of the criminal justice, like lobbying.
Is that the working family? Is that what's the
No, that's a
lobbyist?
different group.
Now what's the lobbyist? What
So
am I talking about?
a lobbyist can be to get a bill done. You technically you
So what is
lobby.
it? The working family? Is that it?
Working families is a different group.
The lobby, right?
They're a different group, and they lobbied on like $15 an hour, a living wage, that kind of stuff. That group
They have their Negroes.
was starting. Yes,
They have their Negroes. And what's the other one? There's
they didn't endorse
the one with the white. Well, of course not. You own the People's Network. But what's the white with Craig Peterson, the one he runs?
Now I don't know what his.
But they're Republican. They're conservative. But they have their
Exactly.
Negroes in Milwaukee too.
They do.
I'm here to tell y'all it
They
ain't
do.
what you think it is. I'm here to tell you everybody who say he a leader, she a leader, ain't a leader. I know the game.
You ain't lying.
And you either on one team or the other. And I tell you like this, the Democratic Party tried to play you hard. When they tried to run Mandela against you, he was on. Right.
Yeah.
I had everybody. I was doing this years ago.
I can't too.
So, but you turned him upside down and gave him a night, go about your way. And then the
Right.
party,
The sad part was that he chose to do it though. See, that's really
that
the
was
sad
them
part.
trying to get
And
at you
the
though.
sadder part, but regardless, get at you or me or whomever, is if you choose to be an instrument.
Exactly. I ain't say, hey, that brother had a car note. Brothers got bills. Like, so it's, you step to him and say, hey, man, we're going to make you this guy. But see, the consolation prize is how it's reversed in Wisconsin is, first of all, you should be the lieutenant governor. He should be a senator or state rep. He jumped over because he was willing to play another black person. They said, you've been loyal. You've been well. We're going to put you in position. I know the game. Ain't nobody got to vote. Look, I don't need no campaign donors. You got to pay We Energy.
In the end, everybody is very happy that we have our second black person to be
love
elected
Mandela.
statewide.
He's a friend of the show. And we got he got his ass whooped, but they planned it that way. So now you're running against big budget Barry, who had a state of the city address. And I'm gonna let y'all talk now. My co-host like, damn, kid, we just staying at the crib.
I
Jason like, I came for the fries. It don't matter what he say. Let him talk. Let him talk. Lakefront, you built downtown and redeveloped. How you got a $500 million stadium and the projects is 7 minutes from it? They don't
7
want,
minutes.
yeah. Well, how is it less?
7
You can
minutes.
walk to the pro. You can walk the hillside.
I mean, I'm fat. It took me a long time to walk.
The
Damn,
parking
Cat.
lot ain't even a block away.
They don't
It's
they don't
almost
want
kitty
America
corner.
to see that with
But-
the DNC.
But Trump's administration, under what's the black document? Public projects can be converted now to a public-private partnership. So now they actually could end up doing something, with Hillside. So that's why it matters.
A little bird told me in the first place. So they're ready, willing, and able to let it go. A bird told me that. I'll tell you what the bird name is after the show. But I know how that moves too. So I think we have to have a sister who can go down there. And this is a complicated job. Let's not act like being the mayor of Milwaukee is a simple ass job. You have to navigate so many different relationships to be the mayor. And Barrett has done this, and we've let him do it without checking on what he's doing. So he's come up with tax incremental funds. He's come up with redeveloping certain sites for economic empowerment, supposedly. But when we looked at it, it didn't really empower the people that was the pawns of it. Strauss, Slaughterhouse. So Barrett has gone unchecked because I'm going to be honest with y'all as black people. Y'all starstruck. I done been around where Barry came in before. And people go, oh, Lord, there goes the mail. Oh, sir, can I just have your number? And he'll be like, yeah, give me a number. You will never hear from this dude again. I got this with Tory Lowe, because Tory Lowe is running against Malele Cox as an independent. He's fighting the Cox name.
Can I speak to the independent thing that you
Go
keep
ahead.
saying it?
Yeah,
So first of all, the races that so elections are February, April, August, November, right?
Okay.
Always a Tuesday. Okay. Number one vote fan is what I like to say, right?
Okay.
So that we remember. So anyway, February, April, those races are non-partisan races. So that
Okay.
means they're not party anyway.
Right.
So your mayor, your comptroller, your city attorney, your treasurer, those are all the top positions in the city that are open right now.
Right.
That for the first time in the city's history, there are African Americans running in every one of those seats.
Right.
At
You're
the
the only
same
black
time.
mayoral candidate left.
And vote for every one of them, y'all. Vote for every one of them.
Don't just check the D, though.
Well, you know, I want to say this: there is no D
Right.
in these races. In these races,
It's just nice.
somebody may or may not be a Democrat,
Right.
right? That's running for a position. It doesn't matter. You don't have to,
Mhm.
speak to that
Yeah, I noticed
issue
that.
at all. And so it's one of the reasons, that I bring up a lot of my work twice and being in the minority,
Right.
both as a senator and as a state rep. So I've had the opportunity to learn how to work across the aisle to get legislation. And I've been able to get a lot
Yeah,
done.
you do that.
But oftentimes, even though you've been able to get things done, you've been criticized, right?
To be willing to be clear on that so that
We-
you can be respected.
We should also start to vote for the candidate and not the party, right? So,
Well, and-
because I don't mind if you go, and you take a little bit from the
Clarence
Republican
Thomas is
side.
no Thurgood. Don't always be.
No, I
So they
so,
understand
but
that too. I just want to say, so it's not, and you do need to vote for the candidate, is what I'm saying.
yes, yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to throw this out there too, Jay. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I just wanted to just put this out here before you go, because my thing is, I bring people on, right? Like, because Vincent Tony will be here tomorrow night. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I want to explain to you how to vote, right? Right now, there's a voter purge that they're trying
Yes.
to do.
They're trying to purge more than 200,000 of us off of the rolls. So if you move since the last time you voted, you probably are one of those people they're trying to
And
purge.
you got to check up on it.
And if you haven't reported your new address, they're probably trying to purge you off the list.
Right.
And what their hope is when you is you're not going to want to go and get registered. Or if you go, you're not going to have all of what you need in order to be registered against voter ID.
Right.
Because everybody doesn't have the process. It's not as easy for everybody to get an ID. Everybody don't have a birth certificate. Everybody don't have the money to buy a birth certificate. Some people got to take off of work and this, that. I mean, it's just a lot
Some
of
niggas
different.
on the
But they will then go and close some of those DMVs that are in the area.
But
for
that's
those-
definitely happened.
So,
It's been
the dub-
myvotewi.gov, where they can call 286-CITY and ask for the election commission. And then when you go to myvotewi.gov, you will be able to put in, I believe it's your name, and it will tell you whether or not you are or are not registered. And so if you're registered, bam. But if you aren't, then it lets you know that there's an issue. And before February the early, you can be my Valentine. Don't vote for me.
Hey, I did already.
February 14th.
That's why he showed you
Yeah.
his sticker.
Yeah, I'm on deck already.
But for those of you that think voting doesn't matter, why would they be going through this much trouble to keep your vote from counting? It
Now
doesn't matter.
that's real. That's real because purging, in addition, they put in like at least more than 30 different laws to change on elections, like when you can vote. We used to be able to do early voting and we could do weekends and in different hours, and they tried to address that,
Right.
and make it where that couldn't
Well,
happen.
just to keep it a buck, I'm gonna tell y'all when this changed, because these laws have been floating. I'm gonna tell you when this changed. when we
And
kicked
the Republicans.
when
did.
we kicked Skippy ass up out of Madison, when black
The
people,
next
the
day,
early voters, and they put up Milwaukee County and they said, damn.
And
Right, that's what I'm talking about. Right after that, they went
They're
to
like-
court. When Tony Evers took office, he was like, damn, I already got charges. They did an all-night session real quick.
overnight,
You gotta stop these niggas from voting. You see what they can do, right?
right?
So it was like, what's about there?
$30,000.
You didn't graduate. You didn't graduate from UWM and you got kicked out of office. Listen, I'm just telling black people how powerful it is for you to understand the system. My sister and I have talked a lot of times. Every time we've actually spoken, we said it's about civics. We need to
Yeah.
reintroduce the
Yeah.
curriculum of civics back into the high
Real
schools
talk.
so that our young children will understand the power that they possess.
Why was it taken away? Think about it.
Exactly. Well, it's all systematic. So I'm saying to people in Wisconsin, like, you can vote for whoever you want as long as you understand who you're voting for. And white women are the perfect else for him to take and shit. As black people. So he took more, and y'all just Trump, and white men too. White people are the reason Trump is the president. You can say, well, you niggas didn't vote.
White women in particular.
Right. Oprah
White
didn't
women in
even
particular.
do it.
I want to be extremely clear. Black women, 8% voted
Was
against
not
Trump.
messing with
I
Trump.
do want to say, just of the nation, to say that the orange man was.
Yeah, cool.
But
You're cool.
But Trump didn't win on the popular vote, right?
No, he did
And
not.
so we have a system error.
Well, that is true. The Electoral College did put in place for some reasons to balance out.
Yeah, like
slaves.
And the
1755.
reason that we even
So it
have
needs
the
to be-
electoral college is
How
100
you
years
update
over this. Come on.
How does Windows update every 7 months, but we ain't updated the
Because it
Constitution
can
in
work in
1,000
their
years?
favor.
What the fuck kind of shit is that?
Listen,
I just turned my computer on tonight and said, you need an update.
I
said,
want to be
skip
clear.
till later.
I
We're
think-
not gonna go messing with the Constitution all the time. I still don't like that we gotta go every 25 years asking for our voting rights. I don't like that. I don't fully understand. I'm a lawyer. I never fully studied that piece, but I know I don't like it.
I don't like when you
And
do it
I
right
also-
after we put out a white dude. I don't like when it becomes, soon as Evers get elected, we're going to change the laws. Whoa! Because he was an incumbent.
Oh, let me tell you, they've been real crazy with it. They changed the rules in committee. They've changed the stuff about
They
when
did.
things on the floor. They go in.
But I'm telling you, never underestimate the power of white people.
The Republicans have gone in.
Well, look who
They
they
were
elected.
taking money from the.
Yeah, you just gotta shut up and let me talk. But here's the thing: do anybody else besides me remember when Skippy Walker punked Tom Barrett? Remember we had a housing. Remember the housing crisis. Remember when Milwaukee to deal with the housing crisis, and Skippy Walker took it from Barrett. He snatched it out of his hand like square ass dude. It's going to Madison. It was like $9 million.
Mhm.
And Barrett was like, okay, you can have it. I didn't see nobody. Now, as soon as I seen them run against anybody, I'm not voting for you. And this is the reason why I'm telling y'all not to vote for him and vote for leader. Because if I'm your leader, if I'm responsible for y'all, if I get punked, we all punked. And he never even asked for this back. I never even seen him say, we'll get that bread back. It's just boarded up shit all over Milwaukee right now and with no explanation. So
the 9 million you speak to is going to talk about the census.
Oh.
Because right now the census is up. And so everybody from the womb that's out the womb ain't in the tomb should be counted. Okay.
That was a good one. I'm
All
gonna have to
right.
use that.
All right.
that.
Don't matter if you citizen, not citizen, everybody should be counted.
right, you got
All
six
right.
kids by 7 women.
And the reason is because every person is going to be worth $1,800 in federal dollars, at least, plus other pieces in the formula. So, but you get counted wherever you are at the time of the census.
Okay.
So, if you're in Milwaukee, you're counted here. But if you had a case and you went to Waupun, you're counted there.
Right.
Or if you were 6 and your mama was on crack or opiates and you got put in foster care, you counted there.
Wherever the foster, they got
So
custody.
1.4 million we lose to prisons in the state of Wisconsin. I don't even know what to do. Is try to look for places, right, where money is due us. That, like you spoke about the 9 million, to be able to speak about you know, why we need it, you know, why it's ours, you know, what's unfair about the process, right, of what's being done. And someone has to be willing to speak to issues. You can't hide or run like Barrett has from debates with me, you know.
Well, you know,
What happened?
Oh, yeah, he came. I was in there one Saturday morning, right? They was doing one of their blackout. And I said, well, first I need you to answer a couple questions for me. You know, and he said, well, you don't have to vote for me. I just need your signature so I can get on the ballot. I said, well, like I said, I need you to answer a couple questions for me because I may not even want you on the ballot. You know, then he looked at me and I said, well, first question, right? I asked him, I said, what do you plan on doing about police brutality? Do you got anything about equality? And so I feel like if you ain't a part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Where he looked at me and he said, well, okay, well, you don't have to sign the paper. And then he left about the Sherman thing.
right.
He didn't talk to nobody else and walked right up out of here. You know, and there was a
And
crowd.
that's what I
and-
wish you
and
would
see,
do
and it
with
was-
this seat.
it was-
But on February 18th and April 7th,
Yeah.
that's what I'm hoping y'all make.
Yeah,
Those
you
are
know,
the days.
and a
Those
crowd
are the days.
started gathering around us.
February
And that's
18th
why he
and
got up
April
out of there.
Okay. Now it's still a Warrior Report with myself, Kamar Carter, my brother Talk to Teach is in here. We got the legend, we got the Milltown legend. See, I did back-to-back bumbles on y'all. I had Tory Lowe and Lena, right? So I need to just have.
Hey, and speaking of that, my bad. Speaking of that show, shout out to Liz Brown. She showed up. She had the first comment, we can't see it, but she had said, "What's up, kings and queens?"
Okay.
And then just now she said, "Show out, Black Girl
Black
Magic."
Girl
You know what I'm
Magic.
saying?
Well, Liz is part of the show. She came with Tory.
Yeah.
Liz is gonna be on here next Wednesday because she's gonna become part of the People's Network. Because
I love it. I love it
I
because I love the silence is the sickness.
Right.
Mhm.
And Liz she came on here and popped her peas like, you know what I mean? She I said, you gotta be a part of this. So she's gonna come in and get us some estrogen. We need it because it's all testosterone around here, baby. Especially on Thursday nights and Friday and Saturday nights. But Outlaw Radio, just Fight Like a Man. We're gonna do Outlaw Radio like a Man. And that's gonna be Saturday. Last Saturday we did White People Be Tripping. Last Thursday we did Black People Be Tripping. So you can go watch all my shows. I don't care. I'm
I gotta
opinionated.
watch those.
Well, no, it's just crazy. What you need, my sister? Okay.
Well, here, we can,
Because we got the chef.
but
So.
that's, you know, look like some stuff need to be moved around.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So
Right.
I got space by me.
Me too.
Lena already said.
I don't know what y'all
we're
gonna do, but I'm ready.
Right, I'm ready.
Well,
I got my apple juice.
we got a chef,
Lena ready over here.
I'm ready.
and we have a chef, and don't ever say like we chef no Nick Brown. What is that? Chai Beards we had the sister with the
Yup, Chai Beards.
right. We had Chai Beards. We do black business, man. So you just gotta holler at me, man. I won't knock the stuffing out your egg McMuffin. I think it takes black economic empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
Where you going? Okay.
He's like he got to.
So we still got Lena Taylor here, but you know, black people gotta break bread. So we got food coming. We gotta figure out how to get this sister on here. I thought we talked about that before. So
We gonna scoot over.
so I'm getting served a plate, y'all. 414-231-9982. My sister.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, man. We
I
got
can
a spread.
tell all the way from here.
It's been smelling so good. I didn't know.
I got something else.
Oh my goodness.
Excuse me.
And so, what's the name of the business?
Foxy's.
Fox.
FAUXIES.
Foxes, we gonna get you on cam. I want to
Yeah,
get
we
you on
finna,
cam.
we finna get you on camera. So
Right,
we
we
get the
just
food
got you.
situated.
So, what's this that we're looking at?
I wasn't expecting
Oh, you got enchiladas.
Enchiladas.
You got the good treatment. Look at here.
You are the
And this sister
We
brought
can
it.
share.
She brought a
Oh no, I
friend.
got some. She said mine. She forgot it.
you share.
But yeah, I had some of them. I had the enchiladas last week.
Okay, I just need a fork so I can give him something. We can't eat out the same
No,
bowl.
I'm sure of that.
Right. Don't do that with other dudes.
I would hope not, because I have a problem with that.
Okay. What? Did you give her that?
Yeah, I got
You
it.
need a napkin? You need a fork?
I thought you.
I need a fork. Yeah.
Wait, now where is
It's
it?
going down on the Warrior Report, y'all. It's going down. Like
So
I
what-
said,
And we gotta get you a plate so we can share.
So one of the
no, I
things
got
just
something. Don't
wanted
worry
to,
about me.
Also, make sure that I touch base on is when you were talking about the equality, the wealth, and
Thank
the
you.
police brutality piece.
Mhm.
You know, like that really touched me because that's exactly what I spoke about today when I spoke
Mhm.
about the real. Barrett did a State of the City, you know, earlier this week, and in that State of the City, he left out the reality of a
Exactly.
lot of people, you
Exactly.
know,
Thank you, my
who
brother.
are in the city. And I want to be clear, like, I've been blessed.
Mhm.
Now Jay got to
But
get
you
there
know
because
I've
he ain't
been
got nothing.
Even though I've been blessed, my reality is how I see it. And it's the same reason, why I'm running. To do the work.
Right. It's hard to talk
Yeah.
with this food in front,
I
right?
know, because it's so good.
Like I don't even know what I'm eating. I'm eating roots. I'm like Brother Jay, living off the earth, eating herbs and roots.
Yeah.
Right.
So y'all need to know.
Okay.
She made a sweet potato that looked like and a carrot.
The
What is
sweet
this?
potato,
Sweet potato.
parsnips, carrots, and
You want-
beets.
you want the knife?
And
That
yes.
is a stuffed
And
turkey.
I got one.
What is it?
Yeah, tomorrow
so
I come.
she
I
is-
see. Yeah, I come.
She's
That's
amazing.
Y'all gotta excuse us. They're like, man, we can't be here to show y'all eating.
Oh yeah. But it's all going up, you know what I mean? Like you say, black business. You know what I'm
We
saying?
love black people who love black people.
No, we still got Lena in.
And
What we were talking about,
So pretty.
shout out to Tori Lowe and Liz Brown because they are running as independents. And I was talking with them about
they're
again.
in, they don't even have to declare.
Okay. So they can be. So could they be independents in the mayoral race?
No, because it's a nonpartisan race.
Okay.
You can label yourself as an independent if you want to, but it's not a race that you label.
And I noticed when I went to vote, you know what I mean? It wasn't no Democrat or Republican or nothing. It was just name.
Now I am a Democrat.
Right. You
But-
pick by name.
Exactly.
How do you deal with that, being a Democrat? And just like I look at Democrats now, I'm just disappointed in them. Like it's like, even with thank you, brother. Even with the Barack Obama, like I know he's supposed to be everybody's hero. I just look at him like it's such a missed opportunity for black people. Like I know he did some things.
I think one of the reasons we need civics is so that we can understand what each position can bring, right?
Okay.
Because like one person can't do it.
Right.
If you're just the executive, the dictatorship, even though the orange man wants us to, right?
Right.
So you have to work with the legislative branch. So Obama couldn't do it without a legislative branch, and he didn't have one because immediately we didn't go and vote for the Congress. So
Right.
he lost the Congress. So he never had a bowling alley so that he could take his policies and just do it. He always had a maze.
Right.
And the Republicans decided they wasn't letting him through the maze
Right.
under no circumstance.
I always said that we showed up in record numbers to elect him, but we lost him because we didn't vote in the following midterm.
That's it.
And I'm not an Obama groupie. I still blame Obama for the LGBTQ thing because I think Obama gave gay people more rights than anybody. And he didn't even care about us. We were sitting down here like, at least tell them to stop shooting us. And he was just like, no,
Something.
let them wear their feather boas in the club. Like it was like when the gay people got shot in Florida, he was there. Chicago had 700 homicides per weekend. And that's what's your base. And you didn't even show up. So black people are disillusioned. We're disillusioned with politics in this country. I think a candidate like you has an important grassroots following because we know Lena is in the community. We know if there's something going down, Lena if she stayed 5 minutes, she's coming through, right? And there's no other black candidates on the ballot. They either didn't get their signatures or they didn't get the money right. So I think right now, like I looked at Gwen Moore. Okay?
Actually, they didn't get their signature.
Right,
That's what
right.
happened to both of them.
Right. But they didn't
Right.
have enough money to hire people to go get the signatures. So he should
Well-
gave him some weed or something, gave him a blunt. He went and got plenty of
I
signatures.
didn't have to hire nobody to go get signatures.
Because you
Which
but
one?
the white boy,
Which one?
Lipscomb, Theodore Lipscomb
Oh, okay.
for county executive. And I said, I thought
Love you, Lena.
we was all going for DC. DC's the homie, and he's the one that he got his signatures. He's been in the community like Lena. He ain't all the way there, but he's you have to develop politicians. Kennedy got developed. Reagan was a movie star. He got developed. Even Nixon crooked ass got developed, right? So we have to develop black politicians. Adam Clayton Powell was developed inadvertently. You gotta do what you got to do it yourself. But Adam Powell was
I just
one.
want to say this sister's enchiladas.
I don't even know what I'm eating. Everything is good. That's a chicken
It's so
sandwich
good.
over here. It's
And I'm loving these French fries.
shit, I'm trying to be serious.
These French fry roots.
Somebody said, ugh.
Right.
No, what's this?
For you to give him his enchiladas. No. You kept this, the enchilada plate.
Let's
He
move
needs
with a good
some.
time. Who needs something?
Ham in the middle.
He can have some.
Not me.
Jay.
Yes.
Jay, you want some
Oh,
enchiladas?
cause no, I can share them with him. I
Ham
forgot.
over there. enjoying it.
Like, I didn't give you some.
Fat people love eating.
Hey, look. You know I know. You know I know.
Oh, it's
Stop
delicious.
playing with me.
Now you gotta tell us what's all in this.
Hey, wait till you come sit down.
All
right.
right.
Yeah, Jay.
ready?
Cilantro.
You about ready?
I just have to make sure y'all got
Well,
it.
come on over. They go to stew right there. We gonna scoot over and get you some room in here.
Yo, bro.
Chef P, where is the P? Where is the P?
Hey, do we got an extra fork?
Yep.
Black business, vegan eats, man. Good on
So do you,
Facebook.
do you just buy the roots or do you also do
Thank
any
you, sir.
growing?
Anybody
No,
need any
but
plastic?
growing is my very next step, and I'm very much interested in growing. So I know what's in it, where it came
Get on the mic. Get on the mic. You gotta lean in, my sister. Thank you.
from. My hair.
Right.
Okay, what?
Go ahead. No.
We gonna figure it out. Here, come on, you can use this side.
Okay. Look,
Uh-oh. Watch your headphones.
okay. Let's share. He's too.
So what are we eating? Because everybody picking out. She might be like, this bat ass. We gonna have to coronavirus.
That badass good, ain't it?
It is good.
I don't want the coronavirus though.
No, it's not gonna give you. the
Shout out
coronavirus.
Mr. Courtney. Peace, Baba Courtney.
What you guys are eating is a vegan enchilada. It has sweet potatoes, black beans, brown rice, corn, bell peppers, onions, and vegetables, which include parsnips, carrots, sweet potatoes, beets, and everything is air fried.
Great. That's dope.
No grease, right?
No grease.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
this is fries, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
You said root?
Root vegetable fries.
Different vegetables.
What root am I eating here?
What color is
There's
it?
many different ones.
This one. The maroon one.
Purple. That's a beet.
Oh,
I
hate
love
beets.
beets.
No, let me tell you, it's good. You
You
didn't
eating
know
it real well
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, you didn't know you hated it until she told you. You was
I was gonna spit it out.
You've been eating them. I've been watching.
Exactly. No problem.
Right.
I've been waiting for something.
I'm mad everybody like to.
Tofu.
Right. Because I wanted them.
Really?
Soy.
Sorry.
What is
Not really tofu, but
this? Is tofu.
Okay. Yes,
no,
yes.
the sour cream is soy. That is vegetable proteins. It got soy in it too.
Hey man, hey, there's some limes over here to squeeze on your enchiladas too.
Oh yeah, I had the lime, the tomatoes, the onions, the sauce, the
But there's actually a
Tomato.
movement. There's a movement in our country, especially in Black America, that people haven't noticed. And I like to say 2019 was a year where we actually invested in trying to change the way we eat. That's why I started doing the Warrior Report. I'm good. Because what my brother does the holistic and the elderberry syrup and all this kind of stuff. And we do make a conscious effort to eat better and stop eating like our slave masters taught us to eat.
Right.
So that's what this vegan stuff is about. Like, you know, you look at me saying, fat dude ain't no vegan. No, he's not. But if they bring it taste like this, now how do they get in touch with you on to cater? Do you do catering?
I do.
Okay.
Tell them how to get in touch with you.
Yes.
Delicious.
Chef P.
Chef P.
Here,
What's
type
the name
it
of the
into
business
type
again?
the number in there.
Foxy's. Because I use a lot of plant-based meats. Like I'm doing a gum.
So that's what's up.
Now, what's a plant-based meat? What is a plant-based meat?
Well, it's from plants and different flowers, and it comes together with different flavorings, and you have what resembles meat.
Okay.
Right.
So it's not like
This
the
tastes
ultimate
like a
Whopper.
chicken sandwich.
No, it's
No,
not
it
the
do.
ultimate Whopper. No.
No. It's not an impossible. It's not beyond. It's not
Okay.
either of those.
Man, she made some burgers last night. I texted her this morning and I told her about it, right? And I was like, man, that burger was good as shit. But you know, I don't do Beyond Burgers and Impossible Burgers too often. She was like, oh no, that ain't it. That's how good the burger was. I thought it was
I
like
like
a real
that.
burger, man. I thought she was gonna make them for us tonight. That burger was good. It was nice and sloppy.
I said I had to
You know what I'm saying? It was nice and sloppy. Had 2 patties on it, man. Oh my God.
And on the real, the presentation was everything because this sister brought an air fryer. She came in. We've been over here politicking. She's just been in the background. It was like being at the Easter service where, you know, they got some chicken downstairs, but you waiting on the program to be over. So this food is actually delicious.
It is very good.
So I wanted to give her contact information again. Tell these people what your name is and how to get into contact with you.
I'm Chef P, and I'll give you my business line where you'll always get an answer. 414-553-9005.
And this is the second time because Anna from Next Level Vegans came on and brought us and she's at the Sherman Phoenix, right, boy?
Yeah.
She brought us a vegan seafood thing. And she had like vegan shrimp. It was delicious. She even had cake.
Why does that look like it's chicken, but I know it's not because it's vegan?
Right.
That is turkey. It's stuffed turkey, and that is off the chain.
Hey, oh yeah, let me tell y'all what else she do. She do this daily, right? Like she got the $10 holler, the vegan $10 holler. Every day,
Yes.
every day she got a different meal. Every day she got a different meal. I done had the enchiladas before. I mean, she had a what was it? Yesterday she had what was that? Not stroganoff.
Vegan neck bone.
Alfredo.
The Alfredo.
Yeah, she had a veggie Alfredo and a chicken Alfredo. Oh man, that shit was so good. And what else I done had? What else I done had? Oh yeah, yeah, Taco Tuesday.
You didn't have the tacos.
Oh,
you
yeah.
had the burritos. You had the gumbo.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I like to eat. Y'all know me, right?
Oh,
But I'm trying to tell you.
And it's better for you.
Yeah, trick me.
I know
You
this
wanna
food,
leave?
I swear it's on hit. Y'all, hey,
What is that?
you got to get with the people.
You
You don't even know it's vegan.
Send me a friend request so I
I'll
can
just
promote,
cut you half.
so I can promote what you do.
Yeah.
And I'll put it on all my social media networks.
Thank you, sir.
We just offer support for people. And like I said, we ain't scared to do this because we've done this. We've had seafood boils, vegetarian meals. If you're a black business and you want to promote your thing, you got to holler at us.
Holla, holla. We gonna push.
Wow.
Teamwork make the dream work.
All day.
And we're not even trying to get rich off this. We just want everybody to get some shine.
Right. Speaking
So-
of black business, look, we got the same shirt on. We didn't plan this, y'all. But
Not
shout out
that.
to Words and Images. That's who make this. My man's Terrell. Peace, my brother.
And shout out to Mr. Terry at 3041 North.
Yes, sir.
I know he watching like, man, I can't believe y'all eating like this.
I'm so sorry, y'all.
All
But
this,
it's
we
good.
didn't get no shout outs. We missed the whole shout
Now
out.
we're gonna get back to Lena because I still got some questions I want to ask Lena,
Right.
but the food portion of the show is greater than I thought it would be. So like if you watch it, you're right, yeah. I thought we were gonna be snacking. It's all right.
No, this is a whole meal. And then some.
There's like 7 courses. I got sauces I ain't even opened yet. So I'm gonna have to close this up and get back with Lena because we all gonna be here sleeping in about
Right.
2 hours. Let me take one more bite of chicken, this vegan chicken.
It tastes like chicken,
Yeah.
right? It tastes like a chicken sandwich, right? First of all, because that's my first requirement when I'm eating a chicken sandwich is that it tastes like a chicken sandwich.
So how do you make the vegan chicken sandwich?
The vegan chicken sandwich, like I buy those already done, but when I do a vegan chicken sandwich, I use wheat, gluten, and jackfruit.
Okay.
I use jackfruit.
Jackfruit.
Yes, I use jackfruit in a lot of my cooking. People don't like soy. People don't like most of the people who want to eat whole foods. I have to find a lot of replacements, and jackfruit is one of those that replaces everything. Pork, beef, chicken,
It takes on all the seasoning.
seafood. Yes,
Mhm.
yes. You make it what you want it to be.
Jackfruit. Also,
That is good stuff.
I gotta say something because when y'all leave, I want to eat by myself.
Right. You want to enjoy it.
Sometimes you want to eat by yourself.
Yeah.
Well, you will.
Go sit in the corner.
In case you weigh some sauce on your t-shirt. No, this is delicious, man.
How long have you?
Gone and went to school so that I could do this, and I just went full-fledged. I wanted to eat healthier. I wanted to show other people how to eat healthier. I didn't want to lose any of my flavor. I can't eat this or I can't eat that. I didn't want to be that way. So I decided if I changed my diet, then I'd be okay. And my dad, my grandma, they're better now. They're off their blood pressure medicine. They're off
That's
their
what's up.
diabetes,
Say that.
diabetic medications. Well, he's no longer diabetic. He was borderline. And he's not. He eats, but he eats more meat than I do. He eats a vegetarian and vegan diet 90% of the time. And every now and again, once or twice a month, he'll have him a meat dinner.
Okay.
Okay.
But he doesn't want to cut anything.
Joke with him all the time and tell him, man, you vegan now.
And shout out to Benjamin Mitchell. He said, "Could you please get back to the show?" Right? Because they didn't get none of the food,
Oh, yeah.
so they ain't with us.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We gotta get my
Miss
sister on the show
Courtney,
too.
yes.
Yes. She said good job for Cynthia also.
And we already had Anthony Courtney on here, which is a great show.
Mhm.
So
Oh, yeah.
one of the things I want to say to you, sis, with the business that you're doing and to connect with me as a senator, one of the things that I was talking about earlier is the whole agriculture committee. And what I learned was the funding that's available for individuals who have ag businesses. And so what you have is an ag business. And then also, I don't know if you have young people, or if you have individuals who work with you or teenagers that work with you. One of the things that you can also know is that you can help to expose them to the opportunities that can exist for them if they go to school for agriculture. So culinary is agriculture, but being a dietitian is an agriculture, a nutritionist is in agriculture. And so when you talk about what happened with your parents and their health, that is also something so that you should document in what the menu was so that you can basically do contracting with like health organizations like Aurora and Freighter and Medical College and Children's Hospital because people are diabetic, right?
Yeah.
And so what you can say is, let me work with your patients and I can do for them what I did for my parents, right?
Yes.
If they follow this menu, this is what I did with them. And I can't guarantee, but I can tell you that it's worked 100% of the time so far on the people that I didn't try, But the point is that if you also look up USDA, there are dollars that are available, some grants, some loans.
Yes.
When you're doing the kind of work that you're doing, and young people can go to historical Black colleges if they major in agriculture to do the kind of stuff that you're doing, right? And they can get tuition, room, board, books, fees, job benefits, all that. So what you're doing is amazing and you don't even realize it. And so I have to give a shout out for being put on the ag committee, right? Gave me lemons and we're gonna make lemonade.
Right.
People that's just tuning in, they're like, oh, they eat. No, this is all we're eating vegan food by all my Anglo-Saxon people. It's still the Warrior Report politicking as usual. We still got my sister Lena Taylor, who's a senator, who's a lawyer. People get down.
Only woman.
Right, only woman, all that. Like girl power, Black power, power. So her interview. Can't let me eat again. Yeah, but because we big up now. We got this sister. What's your name again? Chef P. And she's gonna share all her social media links. So if you watch the show, it's just like with Nature's in the Turbs, Brother Kamar Bring. If you want to get in touch with them, you can inbox them, inbox me. I'll pass it along. Teamwork make the dream work. My sister, I'm telling you, turn food.
Right.
It's just I'm eating my vegetables.
Right.
Thought you can eat vegetables at any time, right?
Hey, and Zakiah Courtney's pop-up is actually Monday. I'm sorry, Miss Courtney. I'm sorry. It's Monday, not Tuesday. Like I said, you can look on my page. You can go to her page. She's in the chat room. Click on her name, and you can find out exactly when and where it's going to be. It's actually going to be a Triple B Cafe.
I love
Monday. So you can put your orders in early, click on her name, go inbox her. I'm sure she got some information on how to get your meal ordered early or make sure that you get a meal. Because I'm gonna tell you, she sells out every time.
Every time.
She sells out early, fast.
And as you get the information, we'll forward it. So if you're not a part of the
it's the way that the whole concept of how the restaurant works.
Yeah, pay what you got.
Pay what you got, and give some of your energy there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your time. Do some work if you ain't got it.
Right. So we got the powerful sisters here tonight. Black power, man. Black women, boy, change your life.
Hey,
make some fries out of some roots. Right?
You know what I'm talking about? I love black women. I love black women.
Yeah, ain't no way. So I gotta get Lena here because people want to talk about something with my sister.
Okay.
So we gotta put a cap on it. And Lena will be back next week too. What y'all don't understand is Lena booked 2 shows. She said we're gonna talk before the election and after. So she'll be back next week, right?
Yes.
Okay. So she'll be back again next week.
No matter who wins.
regardless.
right.
Hell or Hawaii.
right.
She winning.
Right.
If they don't,
I'm
But
not
I ain't
talking
gonna
about.
say-
I'm not talking about her. I'm
Right.
talking about the other folks.
She can
Oh,
still
okay.
scoot in. I don't want her to be sitting in the corner like she like, oh, they put me in dunce mode.
No.
She's still here.
No. She's still in here just in case.
She
I
with
got
the
some
team. You know how many podcasts y'all know got an in-house vegan chef?
questions. Right.
Yeah, you got
Man.
that.
He said, Benjamin Mitchell said where she located. That's what I'm saying, brother. We'll inbox you all the information. He was kind of hating on the food. Get back to the
I'm
show.
sorry,
nigga.
Benjamin.
Now he
I
like, where
wish
she
you
at?
see it. It's so good.
Right. So Lena, everybody, we sparked up with my sister Kimberly King and Amber Smith. They are Madison lobbyists, if you will.
Yeah, I met them. Well, maybe not them. I don't remember the name of the women that I met.
Okay.
I actually ended up talking to them instead of being in a press conference that the governor was giving on a particular bill about the legislation that pulls back the personal exception but
Right.
leaves in the religious exception
Right.
in regards to vaccinations.
Health also.
So this is Assembly Bill, I guess 249, but it's Bill 260, right? Like so there's different, and it's the devil is in the D48, right? Okay.
So it actually is both.
It's both. I know it is,
Yeah.
but people just people just need one, like especially if they went to MPS. They need
know
just
what?
one.
You know
They
what?
just need one.
I went to Rufus King.
But like, cause we already know, King people, we know. Right.
Each end of the spectrum.
Right. I know. If you went to North, I'm just saying, I still love you too.
You know what? My dad
Right.
went to North.
Right, but in the 50s, but not in the 80s.
Right.
Lean on me. But okay, so I'm saying this bill basically got at our choice as parents to decide not to vaccinate our children for whatever reason. And now I know here because I was mad because I used the religion. They're gonna tell you what the placebo say or whatever.
After the whole Tuskegee Institute.
Dissertation, medical
Shit.
apartheid.
And
The
that,
dark history of medical experimentation on Black Americans from colonial time to the present.
and that shows you Tuskegee is just the tip of the iceberg.
Well, yeah, and she talks about
It's a
Tuskegee
whole
at
lot.
great lengths.
Yeah, it's
She
a whole
does.
lot more than
So
Tuskegee.
Kimberly King brought that to me, which is already a heightened paranoia amongst Black people because we don't trust the government. So when I seen this bill, I said the first names that I seen was
People that you knew, like, what's up with Lena?
why
And they say,
Lena sign this? Why DC sign this? DC kind of said, well, Kevin, you got, you can explain that to me.
well, yeah. I mean, like, first of all, the issue of the outbreaks that have been happening and the rise that has been happening in measles and in the kinds of things that before, TB, the kinds of things that have been better under control, there have been more outbreaks that have been happening in various states.
Okay.
And then you also have this whole, I don't even know what the stuff is called. That's from China. This
Coronavirus.
Corona.
They've been eating bat soup. Chinese people been eating bat soup, man. Y'all better
Yeah.
quarantine.
I saw
their
that
ass.
picture. The bat had his booty in the soup.
Right. Man, if you ain't gonna arrest George Zimmerman,
I don't want nothing with his
Right.
booty in my food.
unless it's a bat, apparently, if you're Chinese.
All I gotta say is
That's so racist.
that is for populations and people in
Mhm.
public places. And when you send your kid to school, you want to know that your kid is is not going to be at risk.
Mhm.
Now the reality is because somebody takes a vaccine, it's not 100% that
Right.
either way. So I get it, but as government, our role is to try to put some parameters to reduce the possibilities. And so in this time where things are spreading, it matters,
Mhm.
right? Especially in a state where we already don't even have but maybe 50%, if that, of people that vaccinate.
Now, Kimberly King is actually, she told me she was tired. She said, I'm tired, Kevin. I'm going to be watching. She's in the chat room and she's kind of asking some questions. And we have.
Sheila or Kimberly, are you one of the women that I talked to in the hallway on the second floor outside of the Senate chamber? I wonder.
Right. Okay. So 414-231-9982. That's just one of the things. And the only reason I brought that up is because what you all do as state legislators, legislators. All right.
Mhm.
That vegan food had me trip.
Mhm.
But people don't know what y'all fight against in Madison. But
Right.
now you're running. Kimberly has something to say. She's welcome to say it. She can get with us. But now you're running for mayor of the city of Milwaukee. So
I am.
I would like to know, there's some complicated relationships that you have to navigate here. Number one is with the Fire and Police Commission.
Mhm.
Number two is with the common. All these different battles that you have to fight, and they all represent a different level. Because what Barrett has done is he's de facto empowered himself because he's launched initiatives that only he understands. So
Well,
people
they're all new.
right. Well, like tax
Good election
incremental
time.
funds, like. People don't understand Barrett doing the tax incremental funds to get the trolley and really burn against the tax levy and the complications of what that involves. And develop downtown, but he borrowed against our future because if you don't bring business and jobs, the people are no longer going to be able to afford these areas that you've borrowed against. Therefore, gentrification comes, and you're going to replace us.
Especially when you consider that a third of the people who work for the city are city employees who do not live
in the city.
And a half of your police force and your fire department don't live in the city. And 60% of your property
don't live in the
is
city.
owned by people who do not live in the city.
That's right.
So we make up 70% of the population in the city, but we don't even make up 8% of the people that own property.
Okay. Like
and I want that to like sink in. Like we need to change that.
Well, that's income disparity, and that's our median income as Black people being $29,000 and theirs being $60. Until you get into the wild counties where they have a higher, one of the highest median incomes in the country. It's like 70, 67.
Yeah, and I hear you, and I believe that, and I agree. But I also started with $2,000.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I started with $2,000 and bought my first property. Okay. But I also know
it's not enough investment on our part.
We got to do better.
Okay.
Like period. Okay. Like not even 8%. We can't change poverty if we don't change our economic wealth. And a property is really the only thing that most people have that
they can leverage.
Yes.
Right.
And then there's another thing. When you got some land, then you can grow something on your land.
Hopefully.
Right? So that you can ultimately have an opportunity to be able to feed your family. At least that's what used to happen.
So I'm seeing a lot of people. They have like I see Shanita Hamilton, I see my boy Ray Mendoza, Kimberly King, Dennis Torres, and my thing is, I guess everybody who wants our vote will come to us and ask for it, but what is their agenda? Like, how would you stimulate? Because they tried to do the Strauss thing, and we see that was a disaster, and it was a disaster because you forgot about the fact that job within this industrial structure that had Milwaukee Black people live. They had the highest standard of living in this country. That's how you get Capitol Drive. I always called Capitol Drive Chocolate City when I was growing up. It was the most beautiful place in the world, and it was all Black homeowners. There was still some white people who stayed, who had been there, but it was Mr. This, Mr. That. He owned this, he owned that, they owned this, he worked here. Those factories went away, but so even when Mr. Terry and myself, Keith Terry,
they were like, well, the only people that were there were the PETA people. And I was like, well, that's not true.
It's not true at all.
That's not true. I sat right next to Miss Terry.
Exactly.
And she been there like
40, raised the whole family.
Right. And I said, and Keith was there with her. I said, and the individuals that own the daycare were there. And I didn't know some of the other people that also were some of the neighbors that were there. So don't get me wrong. I found out about it because someone from my district called me to ask if I knew. And I was like, no, I didn't. But, I'll check. So when my office checked into it, I made it a point to make sure people knew if they wanted to weigh in what was next. And what was next was the final decision by the Common Council.
I give Khalif Rainey credit for that. I don't know how many friends he lost downtown, but I will give him credit because he was a champion of it, and he was kind of pushing that. But once he heard what the people had to say, he backed up off of it and said, hey, they don't want it. They don't want it. What you want me to do?
Right.
And that was unprecedented because I'm just going to go ahead and put it out, go status quo for the last 10, 12 years. They don't go against the grain. Sometimes they come up with something that's up because he was like, nah, no dice. The white people was like, Khalif, I thought you had.
Look, Khalif was like, my people said no.
Right. My mama said I can't go. Remember you asked your mama, can you spend the night? My mama said no.
And then I'm gonna tell you what I appreciate that Khalif did. Khalif went in the community, explained how he got there and said,
But do
No
you?
lesson learned.
Capital's
I
so
mean-
beautiful. Do you really want to smell cow shit when you drive? I know you don't.
So you know what the mayor said in his State of the City speech, that it was, going to be state of the arts. So I think he's suggesting that you're not going to smell 500 cows a day.
What do you have? The world's largest incense? Like, what are you
Right.
talking about?
That's that be kind
Like,
of
you
hard.
insult my intelligence. And I know he did like the State of the City, which we knew, just like when the Tangerine King does the State of the Union. Like, first of all, I'm gonna tell you, black people are disillusioned with politics, right? So this is why I made it a point to just have Vince and Tony on here. I'm trying to get Fred Royal to come in and spit his piece before, election day. But I think black people just need to be shown how to vote. We brought up the voter purge. You ain't updated y'all moved 5 times, so you energized. You want to go vote for Lena. You get there, and they be like, well, no, sir, there's nothing we can do. They're not even going to tell you how to do it.
Mhm.
So, yeah, you need to.
Maybe they will, but if they don't, you need to make sure you asking. And if you got an issue, you need to make sure that you're calling somebody, right?
Well, here's the rule of thumb. If your address on your ID don't match up with where you're supposed to vote at, you're not in that district, bro, you need to get a new ID. I don't hear these white people tripping. Take your ass up there on Titonia and get a new ID.
Mhm.
Stop making up excuses. Because right now where we're at, there's no reason for you not to vote black or somebody who has a black agenda. I ask politicians all the time, where you at on reparations? And they go, well, I ain't voting for you. I said, where you at with homicide in this city? Where you at? We have
by the way,
infant
the
mortality
mayor
rate.
said that, crime was down. I want to be clear. By 2 homicides.
Dog.
Okay?
How can you even?
Remember when Barrett and Flynn tried to finesse the statistics like The Wire and they said crime was down, and Barrett ran on that and got reelected. Then you found out that they juked the stats. If you ever watched The Wire, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
They juked the stats. They started labeling different crimes differently, so it looked like, oh, felonies are down. No, it just brought what a felony is. They changed it, right? And then Barrett, when we found out,
They had a problem when I asked. They weren't doing anything wrong with flushing, before they tested. Then all of a sudden, there was no dollars. And now, just before the election,
$1 million for the trolley, whatever you had to match with the feds. And I know it was a match grant. I had to find
some of the money was money that we had received a while ago, like even back in 2007 when I ran for county executive against Scott Walker, so that he wouldn't end up running for governor. And so originally, and so it had been like weaseled down from, I can't even remember from what reasons now, but weaseled down, and finally it's like Scott Walker and Barrett couldn't agree because he was county executive, Barrett was the mayor, on how the money should be spent. So then the county got some of the money and the city got left with some of the money. I personally believe the city could have used the money to help move people to work, right? And that wasn't, the choice. It was to do downtown.
You got a short ass train and some old ass pipes. This is what you've got from Barry. And I see We Energy said they're gonna give $100,000 to extend the trolley path during the DNC.
For the ability for it to run.
The extension of it. No, because Potawatomi is committed for 2 years. They're committed to it running for 2 years. They just re-upped. Potawatomi did.
Okay, and I thought whatever it was that whoever that you just said, I thought it was only until right after the DNC. I thought it was just additional money for
It may be
its operation, not so much for an expansion of it to go.
It's like the Olympics. When you got the Olympics coming, they build a big stadium, and then that shit's abandoned. Go look up all the Olympic sites. Like 3 years later, there's nobody swimming there. Like it's bats and roaches. Like, so it's one of those things. I hate to see Milwaukee get pimp slapped, especially Black Milwaukee, by the DNC. And shout out to Chris Johnson and Kingfish MK. Chris called me. Chris is my guy, man. Chris is like the Mad Hatter in the background for me a lot in terms of information. But businesses that are being left out. And if you're not in the circle, if you're not in the G's, Clippers, Willie Wade, Pimp Willie's family, if you're not in all these circles, you missed the grant, you missed the money. Like if you're in a circle, you can get one shop foreclosed on and get a loan to develop a new one that's bigger and better. I don't want to put nobody on blast because it's about leaning tonight, but I'll call you names. You don't get all of the benefits, right? So
that kind of cronyism is part of what, the equity You
Okay.
know, that I want to see the, opportunity that can exist for the average person. You know what I'm saying? Because the truth of the matter is, when individuals call my office, I don't know who it is. You know what I'm saying? They call my office and they need something, and we, help to address it. No matter if it's issues all from, helping with foster care system, or helping with their business, or, whatever it may be. And that should exist for people that are in a community where we don't really always know what to ask because of the whole civic thing.
Right.
We need somebody to help us to connect and to navigate. Like when talking to Chef P, like she ain't know nothing about USDA.
Right.
You know what
She
I'm
ain't
saying?
up, she ain't right. But you in the right place now.
We
got you.
And so, you know what I'm saying? Because I know that we deserve more than what we are getting, right?
We gotta all come together like butt cheeks. And just as spoken in my own, the way I say it, not Lena. But my thing with, so if we elect you today and you become mayor, say, let's just suppose Friday they vote you the mayor on Saturday morning. What do you do about the lead pipes? What's the first, how do you move towards that?
So the lead pipe problem has a few things. One, we're spending some money on it, but there are only 2 companies that are contracting. So 2 companies access to all of the $1 million that will be spent for however many years it's going to be for the thousands of pipes, right? That have to be addressed, and indoor plumbing that may have to be addressed.
Right.
Those 2 companies are not from here.
Okay.
So that right there.
Where do you get the money from to do it? Because like when I talk to Chris, Chris tells me that there's money here.
So where do I get the money? The money.
Okay.
And the people that work for them are working.
Already, they own it.
And those people may or may not be from here.
Okay.
Most of them, I assume, are from where the company is from.
Right.
Okay. So one of the things I have to do is build capacity. So plumbers, people who know how to do that stuff,
Contractors
have to be spoken to. Hey, why is it that you're not applying? Where are you not strong? So that we can begin the process to build our own capacity, so we don't have to contract with somebody outside the house to do the inside house work.
Okay.
So that's one thing. Building that capacity is something that some individuals are working, but our problem in our city is that we are always siloed. Instead of being able to do more collaboratively so that we can do it more rapidly. See, if we really are looking at how many millions is we're spending on lead laterals that we know we're gonna have to spend on lead laterals. So 1, I want to build businesses, and 2, I want to train some people. We have a whole bunch of city houses. You can learn. You can come and learn and get trained, but you're gonna be doing it on some city houses.
But do we have time when the children are, we found out that the children poisoning and crime and homicide rates, like
and ADHD
and cognitive function.
There's special ed. Which MPS has a high rate of.
About 35%. If I'm gonna throw a rock at it. Everybody got an IEP. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, but we also do that because it's a way to make money.
It's a portion.
Answer the phone.
He does that when the phone rings. I don't know why. You live on the Warrior Report. What's going on? Who this? Where you from?
What's up, Black Power? How y'all doing? I missed the first part of the show. I was busy.
What's going on, Millie Quinn?
It's okay, you here now?
South St. Louis. The Panthers from St. Louis. What's going on, my sister?
What's going on? What's the Black agenda going on tonight?
Well, we ate some vegan food, so it was actually a tale of 2 shows. Because we started out with a bunch of roar, and then my sister Chef P came in here and blessed us with a beautiful vegan cuisine, and we all just got fat and greasy, and then we had to get back on it because I have to measure my time when I got my sister here. She's a senator. She's running for mayor in Milwaukee.
Oh, she's running for mayor. Okay.
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Lena Taylor.
Sister Lena Taylor.
Oh, okay. So what's the Black agenda for?
Well, that's what we're going into right now, because we're going to finish the show by approaching specific things that have to deal with Black people. Where I started, and her and I will kind of pontificate. Yeah, with lead in the water, the lead pipe ladder.
I'm listening. Okay.
Because of the poisoning, it's injury that happens to our children with the lead in the water. As a matter of fact, our children are staying with higher concentration of lead.
Then Flint.
Yes. And so the real issue is our children are getting lead from the environment in multiple ways that we don't fully even know, because under the present mayor, we have not had the testing in the environment the way it should have been. Media.
Exactly.
It's under criminal investigation because of mismanagement that happened by our present mayor. So yes, ma'am, the lead is a huge issue that will be costing us a lot of money also in order to remove the lead laterals and the lead that is in the plumbing, not to mention the city owns our schools. And some of the last reports that I saw, there were huge numbers of lead at some of the faucets.
Yeah.
So
They put filters on them. And my sister, my thing is, we know that this is all systematic, and my sister here is not going. She's not going to blow glitter dust at nobody. The effect that it's had, but for a very long time, even here, I grew up here, and I look around now and I say, this ain't the same Milwaukee.
Exactly.
There's different kind of crimes being committed here.
Exactly.
These children are different than we were, and that connection between that poisoning, because you got some 20-year-olds here who, as far as we know, have been poisoned for the last 17 years of their lives, and they said it was paint chips. There was regulation for that. As a former landlord, I know that you had to regulate the paint. So it had, but it's continued. So I guess my point is, I'm too.
Yeah.
They've been on our show.
Pushing the issue and putting him in a situation where he had to admit. It was at Marquette that, you know, Robert got that first admission that there was a problem, and now all the way to me running, they now have 2.2 million that the city has put in to be able to.
Which is a drop in the bucket.
It is, but the point is
that
before they wasn't doing nothing.
They wasn't.
Before I ran, he didn't have anything that he budgeted for it. So the other piece, though, that goes to the Black agenda, so to say, in that wealth building has to be a priority. Health and wealth have to be a priority. So the health end of the lead, but also on the capacity building, to go back to what we were just talking about, who gets the contracts to be able to do that work? So a worker training program, so that individuals learn the skill of what to do and using the assets of the city properties that we have, but also building capacity where businesses are able to do it, pulling the plumbers together and trying to move them up a rung on the ladder, right?
Like plumbers.
Right, exactly. Because at this point, if we can begin to build the capacity here, then the dollars will at least roll in our community. When 60% of the properties are owned by people who don't live here, when you don't have employees that live here, then you don't have money that circulates.
Well, it's just like that old universal question as to why MPS is failing. Kids don't go to MPS schools.
They used to, but
not now. When I was teaching, I said, "Well, where your son go? Brown deer, whitefish, baby. What? I ain't seen my damn kids know him. You teach for MPS. What are you talking about?"
Right.
So it's outside investors. So my sister, we ain't gonna stray away from that Black agenda.
All over this country.
Yes, ma'am.
The water mixed up. The schools are not about anything. Here, none of the teachers, none of their children go to any other public school. None of them.
Okay.
So my thing is, I just want to know when we're gonna get out. When we're gonna get out and break. I'm tired.
Well, you know what? That's one.
You sounding good.
But one of the things I
don't
was.
Because I don't trust you, bro.
Well, I understand. I understand. But one of the things I want to say is, this city is 70% people of color. It's nearly
60 easily.
And nearly 40%. Yes, but my point is, but nearly 40% African American.
Yes.
And so I say that to say sometimes all we got to do is stand up to change the table.
Yeah. My sister.
I'm preaching every day.
And we're gonna have another politician on tomorrow night, my sister. We're gonna have a
good night.
Yeah.
You too. Thank you for calling.
Power to the people.
Peace.
I told you them outlaw radio callers, man, they be serious. They went there. But I wanted to go into one of the biggest issues in Milwaukee, which is poverty. How do you jumpstart this economy? Barrett doesn't have a clue. You don't have to look around. You don't have to look far. Barrett has no creative, groundbreaking, pioneering kind of legislation that will create jobs. Milwaukee was at its greatest when there were jobs here. When we was the toolbox of the world and we made beer and butter and belts and all this drill bits and all this kind of stuff and Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley, that's when it was popping.
Right.
Since the 80s, we had crack in terms of the north side.
I want us to use agriculture, food, and in particular,
Urban
I want
ag.
us to do urban ag. I want us to do hemp also.
Now, hemp.
You know, we can. Hey, cannabis hemp is legal. Cannabis marijuana is not.
Right.
Cannabis hemp can be made into concrete. It can be made into paper. It can be made into fuel. It can be made into material. It can be made into the same kind of thing, like you use croutons on a salad. You can use hemp seeds on a
Oh
salad.
yeah.
Hemp can be used in soda.
It's a
Mike McGee
superfood.
got a Sprecher cherry, Door County cherry hemp CBD. I'm just saying.
Mike Jr. he got everything when it
Yeah,
comes to
he
the
do.
hemp, right?
But I
Shout
want
out
to
to
tell you,
Mike
I
Jr.
told Mike about him, and Mike is when I told him when I got put on the ad committee,
Right.
Mike heard me, and when it did it. So when you talk about what are we going to do about creating opportunity in this city, we have to empower people to create businesses. We need entrepreneurs, small businesses, create jobs. That's why.
But in funding wise, like I think this is where Black people get caught up because we want to be independent of this system. And I say we always have three S's. There's sovereignty, solidarity, or separatism. And I think a lot of times Black people get mixed up in which one they actually want. Because on one hand, you want to say, let's just separate and do for self. Necessarily ready for that. People might disagree with me. When we talk about sovereignty, it's similar to separatism, except for we become our own nation. And I don't think we're necessarily ready for that. I think solidarity is our only option. I think.
Listen, this is one sustainability.
Okay.
I want us to be
now we got four
self-
S's.
self-sustaining, right? Empowerment of pathways to work. So employment provides. But I don't just want jobs, because if I just got jobs, then I'm dependent.
Right.
And so we have to create
We talking financial freedom.
exactly. And so
So we can create our own.
So when you ask one of the reasons I want to see us use agriculture so much is because it has multiple benefits for us. It's healing. It's trauma-informed care. We are the most traumatized people. Period. The sister just taught us that it's also going to help us with health.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When she and I asked her about the whole growing stuff. So when she masters the piece where she's now growing what she's using, she now has business into another place. So the concept of teaching people to grow will also allow them to be able to be in an arbor, because when you get the pear off the tree, now you can make some pear turnovers,
Some pear money.
Okay.
You sell them damn pears. Now shout out to Ebony Williams. She said, Lena, what about the issue of deregulation that you are currently legislating for? I'm unaware of this one.
I'm not certain which item she's referring to. The one bill I can think of that I did that would have been deregulation is something that I did in regards to barbering and cosmetology. So in particular, a lot of people weren't continuing to do barbering, or they were doing it in the basement because they didn't want to have to go to school and do the whole cosmetology thing in order to be able to do that. So one of the things that I did was help to create a track that would allow barbers not to have to go completely the whole lip that somebody does in cosmetology.
So we won't put MATC in control of it all.
Well, they still were in control, but you could.
When you say deregulation.
Well, no, I'm saying that what used to happen is you had to go all the way, the same way that anybody for cosmetology, had to do. Well, what I did was I made an off ramp for barbers that was earlier. Okay. And I don't remember the number of hours at this exact moment, but that's one thing. So I don't know what she meant when she asked. So what I did was talk about something that came to my mind. A second thing that I did that one could see as deregulation is also again in cosmetology. So people had to have a manager's license if they wanted to have a chair in somebody's shop.
Right.
Okay. And then they also had their cosmetology license.
Okay.
So some people felt it was why do I have to have a manager's license? If I got my cosmetology license, you ain't gotta have a manager's license if you want to go open your law practice, is kind of what the position was. And so we made the double licensing issue not have to happen.
She's saying your bill removed continuing education for barbers and cosmetologists.
Well, I respect that that's her perspective on it. I feel like what we did was we allowed for some places where individuals had to pay for 2 licenses to only have to pay for 1.
Okay.
In addition, we made it where when somebody wants to go, when you were doing it, it was illegal. And so there were quite a few of those pieces that happened in that in order to really, I feel like, things people already was doing.
Okay. I mean, my sister, I'm trying to translate for you, but you got to hit us up.
Yeah.
Now, I got people in the chat room also saying, why is talk not speaking? Why is talk to teach, listen to learn not speaking? So I want to give my brother a chance to take the floor and pimp his microphone.
No, I think you pretty much covered, all the questions and whatnot. I'm just listening to learn today. So, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all.
Well, I want people to think like he can say whatever he wants. He's under no gag orders and nothing. Like, we're not Republicans, and the way they're standing and just the complete meltdown and the posterization of racism and white supremacy by the Republicans. And I know you're a Democrat, not necessarily a party favorite all the time, right? But you still party system in this country is in hope, because I think a lot of black people are figuring out right now that neither one of these parties are necessarily on our side.
One of the things I want to say about that is, we can't expect that the party, for lack of a better say it has our agenda if what we've been doing is giving the milk away without making them buy the cow, so to say.
Okay.
So we've been voting Democrat, but people haven't joined the party and they don't go to the meetings, so they don't make sure what the agenda is. So the people that show up is just the folks that look like this. And so we mad because the folks that look like this made the agenda that didn't include the people that look like this, because what we did was we just went and voted, but we never went, we never paid a due, we never said it.
Right, and I'm listen.
And so
I'm a socialist, so I'm a Democratic socialist.
But whatever somebody gonna be, really all I'm saying is you got to participate.
Right.
Because if whatever you say you are, but you ain't in the room,
right,
you on the menu.
Right.
So in
you
the
at
end,
the table or you on the menu.
So in the end, if individuals are voting Democrat, but you ain't never went to, my daddy say this, and this is the best, you can't expect what you don't inspect.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So
I think I know you're that.
So if we expecting the Democrats to do a certain way, but we don't never go to and you don't go to your kid's school and you don't volunteer and you don't donate.
You didn't find out he couldn't read till he was a senior, huh? But no, we have people in the chat room. They support you. They love you.
Thank you.
We got some people who are just pissed off. They talk about your grassroots work beyond your Senate position in comparison to others. Like I hope I gave you that just due when we started, because I thought we all even had people driving by like that. I said, Lena lost her damn mind. Lena's everywhere. I ain't bullshit.
I need you to know I'm cracking up because you ain't lying.
No, I'm telling you.
Because I need y'all to know when I first started running, I was so excited, right? I was out on the islands giving people cards when they pulled up at the light.
That's what's up.
Like, girl, if you don't go sit down.
That's what's up, though. That's what's happening. Hey, I saw.
That's the kind of mayor you need. You don't need. Just because I got my ass whooped at state fair don't mean I care about y'all, right? Like, so I'm just saying, I would rather have a mayor that I can say, hey, but at least I can go up to her and talk to her, right? So it's about deciding. And I know I'm cut. My mother was from the Jim Crow South, and she raised me to not believe in the American dream. And she always told me, and we called him the white man, Mr. Right-Off. And I said, why? She said, because if he wasn't picking cotton fast enough, he'd be right off his horse and on your ass. So they never trusted him, right? And I don't. And I don't trust this system. And this system is rigged. And I think the United States government got hell to pay for a lot of the bullshit that they've done, especially in regards to people of color. And the way that white people are running this country right now is ridiculous. And the fact that you allow this president who sits, now this is somebody who represents a quote unquote political party, would not disavow himself from the Ku Klux Klan.
Right.
Obviously commit egregious behaviors to get this impeachment. But then white people with him said, we're going to have a trial, but we ain't going to let him bring no witnesses. Let your black ass be on trial and see, don't they bring all the witnesses that they can. So shame on white people for what they're doing right now. So,
Wait. And don't forget, Mr. Stone, the prosecutor asked for a sentence for him, and now
only white people. Only in white America do you get these excuses.
White people be tripping. Right?
Well, we just did that show. We just did that show. And black people be tripping because we don't understand big picture politics.
Right.
Sometimes it ain't about what you want to happen first. I know you know how to grow watermelons upside down out of a flower pot using hemp juice out your bong. I get it. That's not what we need to approach first. We all need to get in line and say, let's have an agenda. Let's start with economics. Let's start with education. And even to the point where we can get to dealing with some of these fraudulent spiritual organizations who actually, there's no separation between church and state right now.
well,
A lot of you pastors is governed by Massa Barrett, and y'all won't say shit about nothing because y'all want that prison. Oh, we going to the prisons and talk to prisoners because Barrett done kicked you a grant. Come on, son. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
I just was gonna say
It's your
that
show. It ain't.
some accountability,
Mhm.
you know, within our borders about the nonprofits, and if and that poverty pimping is not. But the
Sensitivity
city had
training. I know, but the county did it. They said we're gonna do training for all our staffers to understand diversity. But 85% of your administrators are still white people. So come on,
right.
man.
So
Same gum, different jaw.
So I hear you on that on the county, but then I want to flip that on the conversation of the city. So the city, you ain't the one that said it. In a place that is number one in segregation. So what does that say about the leader of the city that you didn't say it, but your county said it? And then in addition to that, you don't have departments where you don't have any African Americans in management in a city,
Right.
or Hispanics in a city that's 70% people of color. Something's wrong when the person over your EEOC department, okay,
Oh my
sues
God.
the city for discrimination.
So you hired somebody to look into equal opportunity, and they quit and sued you for being racist. Like that's like your son, like like suing you. You know what I'm saying? Like I put you in this world to be my heir. No, maybe you're wrong. No, I don't. I want you because I know you got a lot to say. And look, let's not leave out the fact that I'm a little worried about black people in Milwaukee. I'm a little worried. They're actually cheerleaders for foolishness. And I'm kind of ratchet too. So like I like some ratchet shit sometimes too, right? So we kind of get caught up in the BS sometimes, right? Like so, I can go in certain neighborhoods, there's nothing, you can't smell none but weed. And I ain't asked me why I can't go to this school or that school. Keep in mind, I'm a former educator. I know a lot of these principals. When I was teaching, we was all teachers. They're principals now. I should have stayed. Shit, I could be getting me some money. But hey, why I can't go to this school? Well, and I can tell them why. Because they're on the list of failing schools. Because they're not turning out literate, functional graduates who can function in this society. I don't blame that all on the children.
Oh no.
I just can't say all black kids are dumb.
Yeah.
So how do you change? Milwaukee has a dark cloud hanging over it. We're punch drunk. I don't even believe we think we can do better.
We don't even know that we're the majority.
Some of us don't. They don't know that.
And so, like, that's deep, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know that 85% of our kids can't read on grade level. Like, that means 15 out of 100.
8 out of 10 that can't read. 85%.
I mean, just
So
like, that's deep.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Well, literacy. Let's talk about because some people are functionally literate. They know what science says. They know what Capitol Court or Foot Locker says.
Who is in his 60s is not literate.
Damn.
And the part that's crazy is, like, this is a new thing. So, like,
To you
all
it is.
this time. No, I'm saying that if they can't read, they're not sharing that.
Right. So the rhetoric becomes, and Jay always says this solution, gun violence. Like Democrats say, and Mandela Barnes explained this to me very eloquently one time when we were doing 3041 Live, and I talked about gun control. And he said, you know, you got to understand that in southeastern Wisconsin, gun violence is a problem for us. But in northeastern Wisconsin or north of the Upper Peninsula, they're rural communities, so they ride around with their rifles in the back of their truck.
Just like folks did down south.
They shoot deer, and they all hunt, and they all go hunt.
Right.
So when I bring that legislation, they don't understand it at all. So it becomes a matter of perspective. So how do you deal with Milwaukee being the largest population, the largest tax base? We're getting slapped around like a punk all the time in terms of how the state deals. Like there's no provisions made. And for me, it's always just like, I feel like they kind of do it because this is where all the black people live. You know, and I'm probably jumping the gun on
You know, sometimes I feel that way too.
Okay.
But sometimes it's not that. Sometimes it's just a disconnect,
Okay.
right? Sometimes it's just some people are very stuck on party, right? But what I do is forever try to build relationships, what bill that somebody has, and I try to figure out if something could be done that could be helpful, you know, for us. It doesn't mean that it happens every time, but sometimes it does. So in the end, what we do is just don't stop trying.
Right.
You know what I'm
Keep
saying?
fighting,
You
right?
just got to keep on getting up.
So,
right?
So if I go to them polls, why should I vote for Lena Taylor?
Well, the first thing I want to ask is whether or not you believe that our Children's Desire supports individuals in entrepreneurship and creating hubs in our community so that people can learn literacy of a number of things, not just finances, but relationships, because domestic violence and human trafficking and all of those things are real things that are happening in our community. We're going to have to teach ourselves or unteach some things because we have not one, not two, but maybe 3 or 4 generations of babies that had babies because we had teen pregnancy and high rates. The pregnancy issue really was statutory rape.
Right.
No, it's all right though. It really was statutory rape. So we have to teach literacy of relationship, right? We got to make sure that people understand how to access opportunity. What I just did with Chef Pete.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be sharing knowledge so that people don't have to
move in something. I
recreate
want to
the
make sure they
wheel.
can see you on YouTube. I don't know. Nobody watch our YouTube page anyway, so it's all just a little bit.
Okay.
Nobody watches on YouTube. Everybody on Facebook. Facebook is the old people social media. That's what I ain't turned up like the violence, the car chases. So and it's so much more. That's why I'm glad you coming back last week. Because we have to, next week.
On the reckless driving thing, though, one of the reasons I think that we're at that place is because we aren't even citing people for traffic stuff.
Okay.
So, like, if you first, run a stop sign, next time, or you roll the stop sign, next time you might run the stop sign. You know what I'm saying? But if there is more traffic policing happening, I think then it changes that behavior. When we take that away and people just free-milling the way they're doing whatever, that's how we get part of where we at, is that there's not been any oversight. To go back to what my daddy said, we can't expect what we ain't been inspected.
So if you were mayor, would you say no more chasing? You tell Morales.
I don't agree with the chasing, but what I will tell you is that I do believe that we should do different with our traffic enforcement. I do believe that people that get cited should have to take some driver class and stuff like that. I do believe in community service and trying to allow a different level of community service because I want to train or teach our people, that meaning the people who live in Milwaukee, that we are family. We in this together. So like we all have a duty and a responsibility to be doing some stuff to make this place different.
Okay.
That's just it. It like ain't nobody coming.
Right. Nobody's gonna
Like we
save
gotta do this.
Right. Gotta save ourselves.
Nobody's gonna save us.
Everybody has to be a part of that. So when I'm mayor, you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the Messiah.
Mayor Kamar, I like that.
Would you reduce the amount of the budget that's allocated to law enforcement? Because I know last year he reduced it, and this year, even though
he didn't.
Well, that's what he said.
He was made to do it.
Okay. The amount of the budget that goes to law enforcement. So he increased their budget, right? So correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know.
So what I'm saying is he was forced this term to reduce the police budget because of individuals who came together in a coalition of groups who pushed efforts.
Okay.
So that also means I want to see not just community policing, that's interaction, right?
Mhm.
Police with interaction. I said I wanted to see traffic stuff happening, but when I say I want community policing, I want to have literally hubs. They call them cop houses in Racine, but it's a hub. It's a place where you remember when the inspector got shot,
Right.
you know, and got killed. You know, he was in his car doing his work.
Mhm.
Well, if we had a hub, one of them foreclosed properties that normally sit vacant, right?
Right.
If somebody could go to the hub and do that work, if a bus driver could stop at the hub to go to the bathroom,
Which is
if
a problem.
right? If a police officer would be able to be at the hub to meet with people in the neighborhood, if a probation agent could meet somebody at the hub instead of somewhere else, or maybe somebody could have their visit with their kid.
Kind
at
of
the
like
hub.
my community restoration centers and underused park pavilions, but
Well,
that's a
not-
whole different.
Not only the hub, but how about we have them live there, right?
Yeah.
How about it's a little?
Oh, you mean in those properties? Yes.
Well, in the properties and in the community, you
Yeah.
shouldn't
Like a
be
firehouse?
You should live in
Mhm.
Germantown and come and police us and then go back home. I think it's a little bit harder to beat Johnny if you got to see Johnny's daddy cutting the grass in the morning on Saturday. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
So
I don't want them to. I don't want it to become a house that cops live in.
No.
Although I do want to incentivize officers, firefighters, people who live in the city to in the city.
They used to
and
have to live in the
incentivize
city,
that.
right? And
Yeah,
that,
but we can't require that
why can't
based
we?
on state
Skippy
statute
lifted it.
that
didn't it?
happened exactly.
Skippy
That
lifted
happened under the Republicans. So what we can do as a mayor, you can do things to incentivize
living
it,
in the city.
right? So what the mayor did was he chose to incentivize to say, well, if you live in the city, I'm gonna pay you X extra. Okay.
Right.
Now, the problem with that is if everybody was due a raise, you know, but you only gave Kevin extra because he lived here and the rest didn't get it, you know, arguably everybody's service deserves to be paid, in my opinion, a livable wage. But I believe you can incentivize individuals by saying, well, you know what, I can let you get one of them city houses for $1. Now I got somebody that's gonna pay taxes. Oh, I do.
That's
I
why
do.
she encourages.
That's why I want to encourage.
So
I'm just saying, in the hub, I don't want them to live in the hub.
yeah, no, it doesn't. I mean,
Right.
wherever in the community,
Right.
my thing is to be in
It matters.
an area code,
Yeah.
right? Wherever the house is, but just be present and not come from a different part to come and beat on us and then go home and eat dinner.
Well, 50% basically of the police department and fire department do not live in the city. And so that is our reality,
Right.
that
And it's a
people
big
don't
problem.
live here.
Well, there's a great
It's a
percentage of
problem.
us as black people who don't want to be cops too. So
That is true.
and a lot of the cops that are on the force are not as aggressive.
Agreement that was, and it was lifted. So to say that we can't do that when it was already done and somebody
No.
somebody
No.
undid it.
No. We can't. The law has been made that says that you do not have to live within the parameters.
Walker made the law, right?
Walker and again an executive. Walker was the executive. He had to work with the legislative branch.
Yes, ma'am.
And the Republicans were in control, and they still are.
Yes, ma'am.
Even though now Tony Evers
Mhm.
is a Democrat
Mhm.
in where Walker was, he can't do nothing without the legislature. So the legislature is not about to undo the requirement to say that you gotta live in
Right.
Milwaukee to work in the police department. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
The police association is lobbying for that. So this is how I legislate as a senator,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes,
So I'm not gonna spend my energy on what I know not gonna happen. So instead, what I'm gonna do is figure out how do I incentivize individuals. Now, if later one day, when some other stuff change, I can get the law changed, I know how to do that. I can draft it up quick. But today, I'm not gonna go back and forth with Robin Voss and Fitz when I already know they're not gonna do it because they're the ones that took it away.
But as a layman,
Okay.
right, it's a different language when
Anything can be done.
that's all I want to hear. That's
Anything can be done,
that's all I want to
but there are circumstances upon which for that to happen,
It's
or whether or not it's realistic.
more likely it won't be done, but
Yes.
to tell me something's possible versus impossible is different.
Right.
So I mean, you know, like I said, the Warrior Report, we normally talk about Black health and wellness on Wednesday nights. Tomorrow night we'll have Vincent Tony here, who's running against Ashanti Hamilton, right? So I'm taking on, I will come pop off before the election comes. My sister will.
Okay, you want to give me a fast fire question that people have?
Questions. We need napkins. We got some napkins. My brother wants some napkins.
No.
I got one quick while we wait for somebody
Okay.
else to think about. Right,
Okay.
I heard you talk about the 2 different cities that we have within Milwaukee, right? And so there's
At
one
least.
for sure, and you represent that well. But we understand that it was that situation was created, right? It didn't
By
just happen.
design.
Right, absolutely. So if something was created, there's a creator. So that creator is still involved. So I'm asking you, because if you do everything that you say you're going to do and you do it successfully, they're going to come for you. Are you prepared for that? Are you prepared for the backlash? Because that old money is still in effect, right? The creator of the situation is still your opponent. So how are you prepared when they come after you with the false allegations?
I would even run. You know, I actually, in some ways, feel like I was having a Jonah experience. You know, and one of the reasons I, wondered if I wanted to run is because of what I knew I would go through.
What you know.
And so somebody said, to me, I said, well, they're gonna come for me. I was like, but they always come for you. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
like they always.
But you
right.
know it's levels. You know
And
it's
so-
levels.
Yes, but in the same, what I decided was, well, that's true.
But then it came at
And
you
so-
on high levels. They took you out the community.
Wait,
the community
wait,
and all
wait,
that.
Exactly.
wait.
So to the point, I felt like I had to then ask myself, could I live with myself? And to, pull Michael Jackson in it, I had to look at the woman
Man
in the mirror, right?
Woman in the mirror.
And determine if I was going to be able to live with myself if I did not stand. And in particular, I asked, can I live with myself giving him a pass? But I didn't want to. And the other thing was, well, I ain't got no money. And it's like, well, do you or don't you believe?
We almost gave up your money for the cause, right? Because you was quite lucrative as an
I
attorney.
have given up my money.
I said it.
Attorney Lena Taylor,
Made some grip.
I make a 6 of what she made.
Right.
A 6 of
Right.
what she made.
Wow. Hey,
You in it for the right reason. Thank you.
it's like I said, man. We got so much more that we can talk about. Shout out to everybody who tuned in. Maybe this is the first time you've ever heard what we do, that are people of color that are in our age group, because we're next up to bat. These boomers are dying off. And one thing about Wisconsin is we have the largest population of octogenarians, those World War II people, the greatest generation, the ones who call us colored in the first place. But their asses is about to die out. And since we've become a majority city, it is time for us to get informed and make better decisions.
They done set their nephews up
Right.
well.
Well, yeah, because old money, the Jay-Z said, I'm still spending money from 88,
They done
right?
set them up good.
So I want to thank this sister for coming on,
Yes.
because, and she always comes. I ain't gonna lie. I can hit Lena up. She, weird, right? So it's a lot of people out there who won't do that, right? And they won't come. They say, you ain't Homer.
And they
You
less
ain't-
successful,
You
right?
ain't no Reggie Brown, right? Like, look,
Right.
and Reggie ain't who he used to be
Oh,
either.
I
Right.
heart.
Right.
I heart got
He said that because last show I said Reggie Brown. People's like, why you diss Reggie? Reggie's actually from the hood. He lived off Capitol up there around Fee Brand somewhere. But I hit Reggie up one time in an attempt to just connect on some ideas. And I told him what I was doing, and this brother ghosted. He never even responded. So it is what it is.
Thought you wanted something.
Well, you get your porridge. Well, I wasn't gonna meet him at 618. I'm too old for that. You get your porridge where it's served at, man. So it is what it is, bro. Right? You better go join 98.3 or something.
Hey.
But so no, peace to the people. Lena, I'm glad you came.
Thanks for
Senator
having me.
Taylor, I'm glad you came. Now, if you lose this, you'll still be the senator, right?
I will still be the senator, and that election will be August.
Okay.
November.
But you're not gonna lose.
Well, I'm just saying because like I said, the sister was on NOV the other morning going hard about it's kind of like not good if you do win because it'll leave such a hole in Madison. You're gonna have C's old shit sandwich over. Then that leaves Madison, who up there? Because if DC gets to be county executive and Lena's here, you know what I mean?
But
Like,
that leaves us in Milwaukee in a much better place.
Mandela by itself, and he's a DeBarge at this point because he has We're gonna always have a good time. Shout out to my sister, Chef P, and her husband.
Chef P.
My brother, what's your name?
Yeah.
That's Rob.
What a Rob.
All right,
Rob, his
Rob.
brother,
Yeah,
Rob.
he been
I'ma
over
tell
there
you something.
solid and strong,
All
right?
you man haters who be
Yeah.
talking about brothers don't know how to big up their sister. This brother came in here, he didn't want to be on the mic and nothing. He was over there putting fights. So
Anyway,
shout out to brothers,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Y'all let Lonnie Love big wide ass get her a white man all she wants. Stop playing with me. Black people, hey, come on, man. It's still hope. Shout out to that brother, man. And Chef P, I'll have her all her information. I was prepared to see how I was gonna play it off. It wasn't good. I was gonna be like, it's real good.
Yeah.
We paused the whole show and just went to eat. People got mad. Like, what happened to the damn
I'm
show?
so sorry, y'all. It was
It
good.
was good. It was good.
So, man, yeah. So we'll be off tomorrow. No, we're on tomorrow night. We'll have Vince and Tony, and then we're on Friday. We'll be back Saturday. I want to close the show. And Willie D had a powerful statement today. We didn't get to talk about Gail or Okra, none of them. I said Okra, I didn't say Oprah. We didn't talk about the fraudulent, the fake Grammys and the fake award shows that black so-called pseudo-Negroes want to run to and be a part of.
The Susan Kuhn,
Right.
Kuhn, what's her name?
Right.
Susan.
Come on, son.
Threatening Snoop. Where's this army when
Susan
they attacking
Rice.
the Susan Rice? Where you at? Got real blood on her hand when they went over and did what they did to Libya. So you know what I'm saying?
That's why Willie D eviscerated him.
Well, Steve
Like,
Harvey.
Steve, we don't be tired of you. We don't want you
Steve
to say
Harvey
that.
been a coon. Like, didn't we trade this nigga away by now?
No, man, we don't trade people.
I thought we got Gary Owen for
Right.
him.
Anybody. Like, we're not taking future considerations for this nigga. No.
Thank y'all for tuning in, man. I want to, since we brought up Willie D, I like to always close the show by quoting Willie D and
Take
saying,
care.
What?
Wakanda forever.
well, that's not what Willie D said.
No, he didn't
That's
say
what
that.
I'm
He didn't say that. He wanted to get it in before you shut him off.
Right.
But you know I was. And what Willie D always says, if you're trying to figure out which side of the fence you on, you have to think about it like this.
Uh-huh.
If your criticism of the black community outweighs your contribution, you're probably a coon.
Cool.
I'll see y'all tomorrow night.
Peace.
Peace.
Vote Lena Turner.
Great. Yes. Listen, let's mix
Taylor, y'all.
Yes, please.
I did.